Are you tied with Keegan?
I'm a point behind, tied with Simon, and then Torbjorn's a point behind us. And so basically the finishing order of us four decides the finishing order of the overall. So it's a winner takes all from us four on Saturday.
But did they give you a suture removal kit?
No, I use
just
fingernail clippers.
Just
This is a shared
just scissors from the Airbnb.
Well, I did.
Melisa Rollins won third yesterday in a mountain bike race here in Bentonville, Arkansas. But where I did want to start with was the shoes, because we just drove out here to your Airbnb. It's not exactly close to the start of yesterday's race. Did somebody have to run back here for you yesterday?
Yeah. So I pulled up at the venue and I was sort of like Captain Casual because I was there with Brendan, who started 10 minutes before me, and so he was like getting all ready and I was like, okay, whatever. And then when I started to sort of assemble myself, I realized that I did the thing that I feel like a lot of people have done at least once, hopefully not twice, but I realized I didn't pack my shoes. And I was luckily wearing tennis shoes. At least I wasn't like arrived in my Birkenstocks. Right. But yeah, I didn't have my shoes, and I think we're about 25 minutes from race start out here. And so I was freaking out. And I'm like instantly doing the math. I think I had 1 hour to race start, and it's 25 minutes here, so that'd be 50 minutes. I'd have 10 minutes to spare, maybe, if I don't know.
And you need to warm up.
And I need to warm up.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if I should. My brother was there, luckily. He drove us to the start, and so I couldn't decide if, like, I don't know. My inclination, like, right off the bat was like, okay, we're getting in the car, we're going out there. I don't need to warm up, it's fine. But then, as we're driving, we're like, okay, you should probably just stay here.
Yeah.
And you can, like, you have your tennis shoes, you can warm up in the Hokas, it's fine. And he'll, like, get the shoes, we'll coordinate to figure out how to get back to each other, which is really freaking hard because coming from that direction, actually, you have to intersect the course to get to Kohler.
Oh.
Which is what we learned. That he had to park 2 miles from the start. And we had to, like, luckily we were, like, on the phone talking.
Yeah, like, I'm walking toward you.
Well, he brought his bike. So he came back here and, like, last second was like, okay, I'll just bring the bike. So he ended up having to park, like I said, 2 miles in. And so we met each other, intersected. I picked up the shoes, rode back to the start for my call-up.
That's pretty pro. Not or not.
I think it's not. But I think that just goes to show how freaking stressed out I was going into this race.
Yeah, so let's start there. I mean, that's not a great start by anyone's account. How do you have to do a quick, like, centering, breaths? You got called up, you had to do that. Yeah, I mean, how did you, that neutral rollout, like, where were you in your head?
Everywhere. Yeah. I was not well.
And then what happened? Because then the race took off.
Yeah, I mean, there's like one really, really critical part of this whole race, and it's 2 miles in, and you have to be ready for it, and everybody knows about it. It's not a secret fight.
Yeah.
And I had no fight. I was immediately swallowed by the group, and by the time I got to the bottom of the climb, I was probably in 20th. Oh, and I think I maybe fought my way back up to like top 10, but I absolutely blew sky high or something. And yeah, then I was just getting passed for the next 5 or 10 miles. Like, yeah, pulling over on the single track for people to come by.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And this is the person who I do believe won the last race in the Grand Prix. Is that correct? I mean, just saying, like, how that must have been feeling for you. You won Schwamigan, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's funny how fast you forget.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I was not thinking about the winner of Schwamigan when everyone in the whole race was asking to come by. It was actually funny. They were like, "Sorry to ask, but could I come by?" And I was like,
The girls that you've been racing all season.
"Yeah."
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, they should. I was opening the gap really badly. So yeah, sorry to anybody who ended up stuck behind me and me being like a little stubborn to not let them through. I did end up letting a lot of people by, but
Yeah. But then there were a lot of shifts in your day. When was the first shift from that sort of like letting people pass to picking people off?
yeah, I don't know. I let myself really feel bad really feel sorry. I was really sorry out there for myself. Sorry to all the time I spent here trying to do well. Sorry for a lot of things in myself. But yeah, I think maybe half an hour or so. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, the first glimpse of hope was we had a photographer, Leslie, out there, and she was just somewhere along the single track, maybe like 10 miles in or so, and I saw her, and I was like, oh, Leslie probably knows like how much time I have to the group, and like I wouldn't want to let her down. Like, she's taking my pictures and like all that. So so I asked her like, oh, where is the group? Like, do you know what position I'm in? And she was all frazzled. I asked her afterward, and she was like, I was just happy to see you. Oh. You're in first place in my book. Yeah. So anyway, she motivated me, even though it didn't necessarily matter that much to her.
Yeah, like emotional support, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at that point, I started feeling a little bit better, and so then all of a sudden, I was passing people back. And yeah, I actually came upon, I think I looked back, I think I made it down to like 24th or 25th.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I remember everyone who was in front of me, so I could see from the results how far back I had gone.
So I have a question, because, and we'll get to this in a little bit, but like, you spent a lot of time out here reconning, you're not that comfortable on this terrain. So now you're in the race, you have two issues. One, you are way back and need to get up. And two, you're on this mountain bike course, single track, rough and loose and technical. So which are you thinking about, or is it sort of become like this parallel thing, or can you not anymore think about how technical it is? Did this help in a way that you had new purpose, which was like, get back up there? Yeah, which was it all happening? Was none of it happening?
I mean, I think highlighted from this whole thing, I was super scared of descending here. But I did feel really good on the climbs. So if I could just focus on sort of picking people off on the climbs and then just like sitting in on the descents, that was good for me. And it was really nice to have like carrots to chase. Mm-hmm. And I did end up coming upon a group of like 6 riders or so. And I could tell I closed to them. So I was obviously moving a bit faster, like in some capacity than they were. But it's really hard to get past 6 people in a train on the single track where you just can't. You can't.
No, you can't.
It's not possible. Even if, like, I don't know. I did try to ask, but they're like, it was more like of a laugh response, like, yeah, good luck. And so I did make an aggressive pass across the street when we like crossed the road, and that made people upset. But I don't know. I couldn't see any other way.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That's kind of the trouble when it gets all bunched up in the single track. So I didn't really know what to do. But that was kind of what I focused on, was trying to get past where I could and use like the momentum that I was starting to gain back that I didn't have at the start.
Yeah. So, I mean, it seems like maybe it was kind of a good thing that you had those carrots, so you couldn't let your mind go to like, oh my God, like the descents or, you know, the sketchy terrain. Okay, but the story doesn't end with you, you know, passing it. Then there's a puncture. Is that? So take us there.
Yes. So I made it back to 5th.
Amazing.
I learned that from, I think someone I passed by was like, we're in 5th. It's like, sweet. That's good.
Yeah.
And I had heard that they only had a minute on us or so. And I was like, I'm so back in it. We're there. And I felt really good again. And I had purpose and momentum. And I was riding along, absolutely smashed a rock. It was, I don't know. It was not a good move by me. I think I was just, in it.
Yeah.
Not preserving my equipment very well. And smashed a rock. Pulled over to the side, pulled out plugs, broke the applicator. But thankfully, we had a team meeting the night before, and Cole Patton was like, oh, I'm bringing 3 different types of plugs because you never know what's going to seal the hole here, because everything
How big it's going to be.
The rocks are just so sharp. So having options is really good. And so last second I was like, okay, I'll throw one inside my pump that I'm going to put in, it was kind of hard to get to, but saved my day.
Ugh.
But it was a little bit of a flail to get it sorted. Yeah, so.
Are you seeing all the girls that you had just passed?
Yeah. Yep.
So you're back in 15?
Yeah, maybe further.
Yeah.
So, that was hard to come back from. But I did get going again until it was going flat again, and I must have punctured again when it was flat and sidewall. Ooh. Didn't really realize it until I went off a little jump thing and completely washed out and crashed.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a crash.
There was a crash.
Okay.
It was just a little guy.
Yeah. This is all old.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But the thing I was most scared of in this whole race happened. And in that moment, I was like, oh, it's not bad. Which I think that's maybe
helpful.
Full circle or something. And I just had one task in mind, which was forward motion. And anyway, got everything going again, rolling again. And I only had one mission after that, which was pick off as many people as I could. Yeah.
And that turned out to be a lot of people. And I think the one in particular, was Hannah. Sophia was riding alone all day. Scarta was riding alone all day just behind her. And Hannah was kind of third all day in that train. And so seemed like the podium was set. And I think a lot of us watching kind of thought that. Where did you come from?
I have no idea. I don't know who was in the second half of the race for me. I don't know her.
She's new. There's always a new Melisa.
I want to know her. She was a savage. What? Yeah, but I knew how many people in that, like I said, in that group that I passed on the road. I was aware of which girls were ahead. I was counting down every time I would pass one. I'm like, okay, I think I'm in 7th. Okay, I think I'm in 6th. Okay, I think I'm in 5th. And then at one point, I got a time gap that I was a minute from the podium. And this was with 45 minutes to go. And I was in such a headspace that I was like, only a minute? Cool. Let's go. Yeah. And I was feeling really good on the climbs and just trying to stay, patient on this descents.
Yeah.
And I just felt like if I were to catch someone on a climb, I felt like that would be really good for me and I would just be able to move through. So, yeah.
Wow. You never cease to surprise us, and that's what's so fun about you as a rider. This new Melisa that you speak of, I think this is Melisa. And yeah, you know, just thinking back to when we first met, 2021,
Yep.
pre-riding Powerline in Leadville.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I just remember chatting with you, and you're like, you work full time in this lab in Utah, and you're just a girl. No, I mean, you're not. You're a strong cyclist. You're not a full-time cyclist. You would not call yourself a pro at that time.
Correct.
And
I wanted to be, though.
you did want to be. You did, but you like didn't know how to do that. And you know, you have this relationship with Leadville. Then in 2022, you let's see, Lead Boat Challenge in 2021, right? Which we both did.
That's right.
So,
You in jeans.
I did it in jorts, so I didn't become a pro.
You still damaged.
So that ride caught you some attention. You joined Team 2020. Was it 2024 at that point?
2024 at the time. 2028 now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then you had a great result at Unbound in 2022. You've just sort of been like evolving. But I think what's so cool is your evolution hasn't followed a traditional path at all. Mm-hmm. And we've been talking a lot this weekend about like who's the mountain bikers in this year in the Grand Prix, and like, you know, this was a race for the mountain bikers. And that's been a conversation in the Grand Prix all along, is like the roadies versus the mountain bikers. And I really, you know, I kind of want to talk about that with you, because to me, you defy that whole conversation. Mm-hmm. You have spent time on both bikes, all the races. You have won mountain bike races. You won Leadville last year. You got second this year. You just won Schwamigan. You have, you know, now gotten third at Little Sugar. Arguably, you are a mountain biker. Although you just told me when we walked in you're not. Can you talk a little bit about that?
It's kind of funny because, I mean, I don't consider myself a mountain biker in the same way that some of the other girls in the Grand Prix are.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't go to the Olympics for mountain biking. I've never raced a national championships XCO mountain biking. I've done one XCO mountain bike race ever.
And you said you didn't do NICA as a kid, maybe once?
I did one single NICA race that I'm unsure if I finished. I crashed. It's a trend. I mean, I've raced mountain bike races locally.
Yeah.
But nothing massive. The funny thing about me, I think, is that I'm not a mountain bike racer. I'm not a road racer.
Right.
I'm a Grand Prix racer. What I've done from the start, I've done Leadville. I've done Crusher. I've done Schwamigan. These are the races that I started racing with.
That's so true.
I mean,
it's true.
Really interesting.
Yeah. Before there was even a Grand Prix.
That's right.
You were... This is your 8th Grand Prix. I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways, yeah. That's right.
That's really interesting, because we have been talking a lot this weekend. We've been asking people if you could make your own Grand Prix, like if you could hand pick the races. And I admit, we've been cherry picking our people, the mountain bikers. You know, and they all say, we want more mountain bike races. We want Downeyville. I mean, a lot of them say they want a road race or a crit too, but like maybe you are the one person that wouldn't change anything about the Grand Prix. Yeah. Or would you?
No.
Bring Crusher back?
I would love Crusher to come back. Yeah. But that's just because I have my own, like, that one's kind of a local race to me, and it's always beat me down, and I like have wanted to go back for it. But
well, this is great, because it just brings me to the kind of the last thing I wanted to talk about with you, which was, you know, being a pro in this ecosystem, especially a female pro, and like how I do believe it's harder for the women probably to get the sponsorship, sort of like navigate a little bit of that, especially if they're a mountain biker or they're a roadie. You are a Grand Prix athlete. yeah, how do you think that works maybe in your favor, or when you're trying to like navigate sponsorship, team stuff? Yeah, just any comments you can give about that.
Yeah, I mean, I say that I'm a Grand Prix racer, but that being said, I've dabbled in every discipline of cycling. And I think that's another thing that makes me unique, is that I've had the opportunity to race on the road in Belgium and, you know, all of the domestic road races, which is like a big part of, I think, my sort of story and how I learned to race and all of that. But yeah, I mean, I think as this gravel stuff evolves, we're sort of defining it, and we're becoming the racers that write the script for how these races are being raced and how these races are being won. And I think being as diverse and versatile as possible is the way. And for me personally, I look at the way that Sophia wins races, and I try to figure out how she might be beatable in some ways. And I think we all need to be doing that, because there's not one way to do it. But I think just having more and more experience is what's going to get us there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's really cool to watch you race and to watch, yeah, just like you said, the way you think about it, but going into it. Like you said earlier, this year was about, what did you say? Winning a mountain bike race?
Yeah.
A real mountain bike race? Sorry, Leadville. We love you, and Schwamigan. So what did you do in Northern Hemisphere winter? You were in Australia.
Yeah.
You did a mountain bike race. Didn't go that well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, last year I won Leadville, which I think is a mountain bike race-ish.
Yes.
I really wanted, just for my own thing, I really wanted to win. I thought it was like an attainable goal for me to say, I want to win like a single track heavy mountain bike race. So I set off very early this year to try to do that in Australia at the Otway Odyssey. And I thought, yeah, I'll just jump on my mountain bike and train for a couple weeks and I'll be good. Yeah, so I ended up crashing really, really, really hard. And I ended up breaking both of my wrists. So that's how that ambitious goal started, was with 2 broken wrists and me afraid to touch my mountain bike. So we have come a long way from there.
A long way from here.
Yes.
Yes. And I can't wait to see, you know, I hate to always ask people the minute like they do something great, so what's next? Like, you should bask in this. You do have a race next weekend, which you were also very well suited, and I'm embarrassed. You've had a good result at Big Sugar? Second. Last year? Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So that's what's next. But yeah, we don't know yet the fate of the Grand Prix for next year. We don't know necessarily the race calendar in general, the UCI gravel stuff. Do you have inklings of next year?
I always say that I just want to be where the racers are. Yeah. So whatever is going to be the race series or race events that have the most diverse competition or best competition, that's where I want to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Cam Jones, we are so glad that you were a wild card this year.
Yeah, Bentonville was my first port of entry to the States.
For a mountain bike race?
I did Snowshoe World Cup the year before, 2022.
Yes.
And then last year was my first, big trip to the States. Flew into Bentonville for the US Pro Cups there.
Yeah.
And then went on to Sea Otter and for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and was last year kind of like, let's see, how do I put it? You were kind of just making it up as you went along, would you say?
Yeah, I didn't have any sort of a budget, just knew that it wasn't big. And so my first 2 weeks here, I figured the cheapest way to go about it was get a U-Haul van and park it in the Walmart car park. So just had an airbed in the back, and it was relatively warm, so you could just swim in rivers and lakes, and just train out of the U-Haul.
Is the Walmart car park in Bentonville nicer than other Walmart car parks in the U.S., I wonder?
Yeah, the Bentonville one was good, but then I think the particular Walmart I was in, they actually kicked me out. They asked me to move on to the Rogers one, which is just down the road.
Oh, Rogers.
So yeah, I got downgraded there, and there was some guy, Hobo Jim, who I became best friends with. Yeah.
Little did they know they had the future winner of Little Sugar mountain bike in their parking lot.
Yeah, it was. On that trip, I did most of the Little Sugar course just for training.
Yeah.
And so yeah, a bit of it was a bit more familiar than others.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the Little Sugar course. So yesterday, we were out on course at like the halfway point, so 30 miles, 50K-ish. You were alone, like pretty very much alone, but I really don't know anything about your day out there. Like, can you just kind of tell us about it?
Yeah, I was in the front for most of the race, even the neutral rollout, and then there was a few Ks of road before we went into the first off-road section. And even on that bit, I was just making sure I was in the front. If someone moved up, I'd just move up a bit more and half-wheel them. And I was third wheel going into the crucial climb before the single track. There was Matt Beers, Braden and I leading up that climb, and that was sort of the main front group for the day. We got away with also Matthew Wilson, a fellow Kiwi.
Yeah.
We were there, and then like both Matts had mechanicals, and it was just Braden and I think I was putting a bit of time into him on the climbs early on. I really went hard at the first half of the race, and I was cramping up by like mile 20.
Yeah.
I was like, a bit worried that I'd overreached a bit, but I guess I don't stress too much about pacing, because if you go too hard early, then while you might not go as fast later, you've got a gap. You just gain the time. It doesn't really matter where you get the time.
Did that work for you somewhere else?
Yeah, Unbound was a bit like that. I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, so eventually, though, you kind of dropped everyone.
Yeah, it was me and Beers we were together maybe third of the way in.
Yeah.
And then when he had his flat tire, it was just Braden a minute back. And I could see him a lot of the time because you go in and out of these little like creek valleys, and you could see him like going the other way as you're coming out of it. And so, yeah, I was able to keep tabs on where he was, and eventually I stopped seeing him. So, but it's so like twisty and
Right.
low line of sight. So, yeah, you always wanting to stay on the gas. But I guess any mountain bike race, you just have to do your own race and ride as fast as you can. There's not really any advantage being with someone. So
Right.
just had to focus on my race.
Yeah, what are the trails of Bentonville, Arkansas? How do they compare to the trails of Nelson, New Zealand?
We got some bigger hills back home.
Yeah.
This is quite unique riding, just how undulating it is. Like no real long climbs, just a few minutes here and there. But there's a lot of the transitions between the climbs and the descents that are still relatively technical, and I think that was probably the part of the course I gained the most time was on the technical flat flowy sections, that if you had the skills to pedal through them, then you could pull good time.
Yeah. We talk in the Grand Prix, we tend to talk a lot about like who's the mountain bikers and who are the roadies. And I think, you are, for people who maybe don't know you, they might be surprised that you have a mountain bike background. Can you just briefly, without going into your whole life story, like what does that look like in New Zealand? Like, being in that mountain bike development pipeline, and like where you thought you were going as a mountain biker, where you hope to go?
Yeah, I guess in New Zealand and most places, the most defined pathway is through the XCO racing. Mm-hmm. So you move up through the age groups. I did my first national level race as under 15, had some success in under 17s, and did both world champs in my junior years. And then, on to under 23 in my final year, I did the full World Cup circuit. So, definitely had my roots in mountain biking. And I actually got a few messages after yesterday, with people not realising that I was a mountain biker, because I guess most of the people now know me from Unbound. And so that was actually a thought coming into this race is wanting to show people that I'm not just a gravel racer and that definitely have the skills to perform in these technical races.
Yeah, one of your compatriots celebrated a pretty big victory on the mountain bike world stage this weekend with Sammy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, a lot of people were back home were posting about great day for New Zealand mountain biking with Sammy getting the overall World Cup title and yeah, my result yesterday.
Okay, that's really cool to hear because I was going to ask you that. Like, yeah, are you getting recognition in New Zealand despite like these successes are so physically far away, and then this Grand Prix is so kind of distinctly U.S. Like, how does the news get back home, and how has it been received?
Yeah, I think the World Cup's definitely the pinnacle of mountain biking. The North American scene has a really large fan base, and it makes it, because all the races are so different, and Lifetime does a great job of like promoting it and putting out good content from the events. And so, yeah, I think it's got a lot more fans, and I guess maybe the level of riding here compared to the World Cup.
So when did you realize that you wanted to do this kind of more endurance stuff and had the engine for it? And when did you sort of say like, okay, I'm not going to try and go elite XCO, I want to do this thing?
After my final under 23 season, which is a story on its own.
Yeah,
a few mishaps there, but great time. And like, I wasn't disheartened by that season, but I realised I was having a lot more fun doing some of the marathon races. Like after my last World Cup, I did a cool marathon race in Girona, just like super technical, and then came home and did the national marathon champs in Rotorua. And then, around then also did my first gravel race. And I realised I probably was better suited to that longer distance event. And with the mountain biking, I'm probably better at riding things blind that you have to do in XC marathon. Maybe I don't have the balls to hit some of the features as quickly as some of the guys do in XC when you can practice every single feature 100 times, but I can ride stuff blind pretty well. Suits cross-country marathon. And then a year after the under 23 season, did a stage race, the Trans Rockies up in BC, and my second gravel race there on a borrowed bike again. And then this Lifetime thing was sort of kicking off, and thought I'd come over and give it a go.
Yeah, cool. So when you kind of decided that like this marathon distance stuff might be it for you, is that what happens? It's like, okay, the Grand Prix is the competitive pinnacle of that discipline?
Maybe not the most competitive, like some of the UCI marathons might have been like harder, but in terms of hype around the races and opportunity to make it a career, the Grand Prix was certainly my first call.
Okay, but logistically, the Grand Prix may not be the like easiest thing for you as you know, a Kiwi. And I have heard on some of the other podcasts you've been on, which there are 10, let it be known. You've had some like interesting travel stories, perhaps mishaps we could call them. Like how's this year been in terms of kind of like this other important off the bike stuff? Like have you had any big stressful or funny things happen? Maybe they're funny now, they were stressful then.
What are we at this year, Danny?
Yeah, I know, because it's like every year
you landed from the airport and immediately went to a car dealership.
Yeah, it was more last year. Last year was this stressful year. Like, I didn't have like a home or a vehicle to get around, and US is very sort of car centric, and so I had a gravel bike and mountain bike and some extra wheels, and so flying between places. Yeah, when I flew out from Steamboat Gravel, I was wearing 12 t-shirts just to like
save weight in your bag.
Didn't want to fork out for a third bag, and so I was just wearing everything. I had my helmet and then my bath towel wrapped around my neck as a scarf. So yeah, my only plan this year was that I needed a vehicle, and so when I first landed in San Francisco for Sea Otter, me and Danny went car shopping and got got a minivan. So
Nice.
yeah, I was able to put all my bikes and gear in there, and I've done like 3 cross-country drives already this year. But it's just made life so much easier having a vehicle.
Yeah, for sure. And are you planning on heading home to New Zealand after this?
Yeah, I'll have another month here after Big Sugar, and then yeah, once it starts getting a bit cold here, I'll go home to summer.
Yeah, of course, as you would. So another thing I've been curious about is, Unbound has been known to change people's lives, and I say that in quotes, but it is true. I'm curious kind of what happened for you after Unbound. Yeah. What happened? Was your phone ringing? Were your DMs blowing up? And how did all that feel?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the phone definitely blew up. Took a good few days to sort of get through all the messages, but it was just overwhelming, the amount of support. And one of the best things about it was how much excitement it brought everyone back home. And it was certainly heaps of support after Little Sugar, but Unbound just being such a big race internationally. It even made the national news in New Zealand, which is crazy for something that's not rugby.
Wow. That's incredible. Wow. I mean, has anyone tried to get you to like, hey, come back to New Zealand, like race gravel here or put on a series here or anything? Or is it sort of mostly just like wanting to see you do whatever you're going to do?
Yeah, people are excited no matter what the race is. Like most people following it probably don't even understand the Grand Prix or what any race means. It's just if there's cool media from it and a podium, then people are hyped.
Yeah. What do you love about racing here aside from the racing? Like I've spent a ton of time in New Zealand, and of course it's like, oh, New Zealand, like it's the best. But I do also, I love hearing what people think of being over here that we don't notice, like we don't see. We see it every day. Like squirrels. I didn't know you guys don't have squirrels, but it's hard for us to think like squirrels could be cool.
Yeah, well, when Matt and I were out practicing the course, we like saw a snake and we like jumped off our bikes and ran over. Like, this is crazy. It's such a novelty to see a snake, and I think I'm starting to get used to having deer everywhere.
Yeah.
But if you see a bear or something, that's like crazy, and you get your phone out.
And how have the people been? I mean, good people, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Haven't met a bad person here yet. It's super friendly country, and just the hype around all the races. Like Americans can put on an event well, and Americans are so good at announcing. Yeah. Like just I don't know, the accent, and there's always great announcers. It makes you feel special when you cross the finish line.
Last thing, so I don't think we mentioned this, but you applied for the Grand Prix this year. You raced 3 Grand Prix events last year and had decent results, right?
Yeah, I had an 8th at Sea Otter, 17th Unbound, and I think after those 2 results, like if I wasn't this year, I would have been like 7th place.
Yeah.
And then like a 20th at Big Sugar here. I think I was in with a chance of winning Steamboat until I had a flat tyre. I got 2nd at the Downeyville Classic, which was one of my highlight results.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, it might not have looked like an amazing set of results from the outside, but having been in those races and knowing how I could have had everything gone right, that gave me a lot of confidence. And so going into Unbound and some of these other races, like going in with the mindset that you can win these races, that you're good enough, was a big thing for me. I think last year's misfortunes a lot of the time actually set the scene for making Unbound happen. Just being not allowed off the front, but maybe a bit more of a leash than had I won stuff last year.
Oh, yeah, true. I mean, so you applied for the Grand Prix this year, didn't get in. Is it just like a form response? It's like, thank you for applying. Like, we're sorry. Or is it personal?
Nah, I think it was just they would have had a lot of applicants, and so it was, just a generic response. But yeah, put a lot of effort into the application, and thought I had a pretty good case. I mean, it's their series, can't blame them can't judge the selections, but it definitely fueled the fire for training over the New Zealand summer to come over here and get the wildcard spot and kind of prove a point.
Yes, for sure. And you more than proved that point, I think.
I don't know if you've seen the rankings for the overall for this weekend.
Are you tied with Keegan?
I think I'm tied for the overall.
I think you're tied.
Like without drop races, including our worst result, I'm a point behind, tied with Simon, and then Torbjorn's a point behind us. And so basically the finishing order of us four decides the finishing order of the overall. So it's a winner takes all from us four on Saturday.
Wow, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Are you going to run some mountain bike tires?
I'll have the biggest I can fit in my frame.
Yeah.
A bit bigger than the official recommendations. I've got some good 50mm tires that have served me well everywhere, and yeah.
So do you see yourself then as like racing against those three guys versus racing the whole field?
Yeah, there'll certainly be a bit of a game element to it.
Yeah.
I think me and Keegan are both ones to just race hard from the gun regardless, not just muck around and wait till the main street sprint. But yeah, there's certainly going to be some games, and I expect there'll be some various people on people's payrolls for the final race.
Yeah. I know one thing I wanted to ask you is, just because this is a mountain bike centric podcast, do you still think, like, I know for you, your pathway in New Zealand was through mountain biking, and a lot of the guys you're riding against in this field also took that path. Do you still think like that's a good way to get to, for example, where you are, like to get to this endurance stuff, to get to this gravel stuff, this sort of like more loose, we're not in an Olympic discipline anymore. Like you are in this sort of multidiscipline Wild West. Is mountain biking still a good pathway to get to this?
Yeah, I think if this was all around when I was sort of starting out as a junior, I would have still gone the XCO pathway. Like, it's the Olympic sport. If I'd come straight into this, and even if I'd done well and not won the Grand Prix or anything by now, I probably still would have wondered how I could have gone had I pursued the XCO.
Yeah.
I actually came from multisport, which is like big in New Zealand: running, biking, kayaking, just some elements of navigation in there. And I was going pretty well down that path, but then sort of stepped away to do the XC, knowing that I could always come back to it. So yeah, I'd still recommend anyone chase that Olympic dream.
Yeah. Yeah. Does seeing what Keegan did over in Switzerland this summer, like, motivate you, inspire you to maybe have a crack at a world title in, marathon perhaps? Yeah.
If there's I don't know how I would have gone on that kind of course, but there's, certainly courses that, like I did snowshoe world champs last year. That was cool. But yeah, it's certainly an event I'd want to do in the future. And I think gravel world champs next year is in Australia.
Right.
Maybe the week after Big Sugar if it's scheduled the same. So about the time I'd be going home. So definitely keen to have a go there.
Yeah. Cool. Also, I think you win the award for best parental hand-ups of the field of the season. Like, that's so cool that your folks were able to come for Unbound. Your dad's here now. And also, I should mention, we're in a house with, how many Kiwis are in this house?
I think there's 5 of us, and then another one turning up next week. And so,
like, what are the chances?
Most of us are doing a kind of privateer season, so we were all going to be looking for Airbnbs anyway. So I kind of arranged everyone to get together, and we're going to have like a few people sleeping on couches and floors later, and it's just cool having heaps of like-minded people in one spot.
Do you think it would be so cool if you could get a haka as your call-up for next weekend? Yeah. All right. I mean, it's awesome to have you here. It's been really fun to watch you. And I have to say, like I said yesterday, someone who can win Unbound like you won Unbound, and then won yesterday like you won yesterday. It's a true talent that defies discipline. And I think that's what the Grand Prix does, and you're quite at home in it. So that's cool.
It's all just turning pedals, isn't it?
I guess so. Sweet.
Nice.
Sure.